The Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Hello.
Hola!
Bonjour.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao.
Ciao!
안녕하세요.
Mabuhay!
Welcome to Washington State.
Explore the sights. Discover new things.
Appreciate the arts, music, and food.
Travel to new places.
Meet the people.
Make new friends.
In other words,
come
home with us.
Come home with us.
This is INCRadio Seattle, Washington.
Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our listeners and viewers all around the world. My name is Brother Joshua Weber from the local congregation of Everett here in the recently sunny but today pretty cloudy district of Washington State. Thank you all for joining us here today. I know we may have covered this topic before, but now, especially now that we're entering into our spring season, it's all the more important. And that topic today is our gardening or spring gardening. So we're going to go into that, but first we have our few ways and reminders to how to tune in here for our broadcast. Of course, we have here through our YouTube channel, which is the INCRadio DZEM 954. And if you're already watching through YouTube, great. Don't forget to click the subscription button as well as the bell icon that appears afterwards. So that way you can stay up to date with all of the other broadcasts here through our YouTube channel. Not only is there the YouTube channel, but there is also the INCRadio.org. Now, like I said before, we will be talking about spring gardening. And who else should we ask but our fine guests that we have here today? So joining us in no particular order, first we have Sister Jovi Santos. So go ahead, Sister Jovi, go ahead and introduce yourself and give any shout outs if you have any at this time.
Hello, I'm Sister Jovi from the locale of Everett. And shout out. Oh my gosh, I have a long list. But I wanted to tell you that it's actually my anniversary today. So happy anniversary to my husband. He's supposed to be listening. And my mom, I wanted to say hello to my mom. She's in the Philippines. It's 4 a.m. and she's watching. And my whole entire family, they're supposed to be all watching today. So hello, Sister Diana from Kent. Hello. Okay, that's it. It's nice to be here.
Of course, thanks. We're excited to have you, Sister Jovi. All right, and we also have Sister Vicky. So, Sister Vicky, go ahead and introduce yourself and give any shout outs if you have any.
Hey, hello everybody. I'm Sister Vicky from the locale of Kent, and I'm so happy and honored to be here. And I want to say hello first to the locale of Kent. I'm sure a lot of them are watching right now, and to the entire district of Washington State. And I want to say hello also to my coworkers. They're watching right now in the break room. Hi, Danny and Henry and everybody there watching at work. Thanks for tuning in.
All righty, there we go. And last but definitely not least, a familiar face, especially when it comes here to gardening. She's already laughing. Sister Rossi. So go ahead and introduce yourself and give any shout outs if you have any.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. I'm Sister Rosie Brown from the local congregation of Bellingham. I want to shout out to my daughter. She is watching out now in Canada, Diane Roche Alfonso, and especially to all the brethren in the world and in Bellingham. Thank you.
All righty, there we go. And I have a few special shout outs. I'd like to say happy birthday first to Sister Hazel, or my mom, for her birthday yesterday, as well as Brother Donnie Torres over in, I'm trying to remember where they're at, east side of the United States. Trying to remember where they're at. But happy birthday. And we have a few other greetings here through from our YouTube. So from Brother Relly Rivera, happy birthday po, Sister Michelle Dapano and Sister Ara Galapon, hashtag Everett. And there we go. And we have a wedding anniversary for Brother Bob and Sister Ella Longoria. There we go. And happy sweet 60 to brother Jerry Guillermo, hashtag Olympia. There we go. Those are our other greetings from our YouTube chat. Hi there, our YouTube chat. I know I see it just flying here on my side here. Very excited to see every single one of you, especially those who have been tuning in week after week. So our question for today, before we go into our promo video break, is, do you have a garden? And what do you grow during the spring? One more time, do you have a garden and what do you grow during the spring? And we'll go ahead and read those responses from our YouTube chat after our promo video break.
You are listening to Iglesia ni Cristo Radio, the voice of truth.
Are you ready for some family fun? Join the Candelera family and the Codis family as they verse each other in a series of games that will test their family teamwork skills. Only here on INCRadio Australia Family Fun Games on March 24, 2024, 3 p.m. Philippine time, 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. See you there!
Do you like art? Do you want to know the difference between traditional and digital art? Find out more this Sunday, March 24, with our special guest, Brother Noel de Guzman, only at INCRadio Hong Kong Satellite Studios episode from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, Philippine Standard Time. See you there!
So let's be sure to tune in and support our other broadcasts, our other satellites rather. So one comment that I saw flying past in response to our question actually comes from Brother Marlon. Brother Marlon says, I have a lush garden of dandelions. Hashtag Tacoma. There we go. So, of course, like I had mentioned before, our guest today will be talking with us about spring gardening or gardening in the spring. So first, I'll like to ask Sister Vicky, how did gardening become a hobby of yours?
Thanks, Brother Josh. First, it started as farming. You know, I was raised by my parents were farmers, and I have 8 siblings. So obviously, farming at an early age is a must. And so, at an early age, I have tasks before going to school and after school. And so that's where I developed passion for plants, love for plants, nurturing plants. But then obviously after college, see, there's a difference between farming and gardening. Gardening is fun, enjoyable, it's stress reliever, but farming is like a mandatory. It's needed for survival. So obviously after college, I don't have to garden to plant a farm anymore, but I continue. My love for plants remained. So I started gardening. So it's funny that every time we look for a place to stay, the first thing that my husband looks for the elevation, the condition of the house. I'm looking at the yard. I'm looking at the elevation of the soil and what are the vegetations in the bag that I need to remove and all those things. So that's when I it's like the animal lovers, I guess, that for them, no animals, big or small, deserve to die. In my case, no plants, big or small, deserve to die unless they are not wanted anymore, unless they're damaging to the structures or anything. So, yeah, gardening is my hobby and is my passion because of where I came from, I guess. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Sister Vicky. That was we could all feel the very like passion that comes from that answer. Thank you so much, Sister Vicky. How about you, Sister Rossi, or Rosie? How did gardening become a hobby of yours?
First of all, thank you, Brother Josh, and I want to share my experience because my grandfather, my great grandfather, he's the one who introduced us to do gardening. Because when I was young, he told he always told us to plant while you're young, so that when you get old, you have something to harvest, and probably when you have children, they have something to climb and get some fruits. That's why encouraged me to do some planting, and it's my passion, especially when I see the blooms of the flowers for the ornamental plants. And in gardenings, when we do harvest some eggplants, and we have no need to buy and go to the grocery, we'll just go to the backyard and just pick up and harvest your. That's what and here in US, my husband used to help me about the planting the like zucchini. That first time I taste the zucchini and the green beans, and he helped me a lot for digging and rototiller. And that's why we used, my mother-in-law also used to put in canning, so we have something to use. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Ozzy. And now, last but not least, Sister Jovi. Excuse me. How did you become? How did you become? How did gardening become a hobby of yours as well?
Thanks, Brother Josh. So I think it's kind of the same thing as Sister Vicky. We came from the Philippines. I grew up in the Philippines. Um, we see, I saw my parents having beautiful, my mom especially has the flowers and propagate flowers in front of our yard. And my dad plants fruit trees, like imagine avocados and santol and papayas, mangoes. It's all over our yard in the Philippines. So when we moved here in the Pacific Northwest, I really didn't want to touch the soil. And my sister actually had encouraged me to have a vegetable bed. And, those raised beds. And then so I guess I was my sister convinced my husband to have those raised beds for me, and I started with tomatoes and carrots, and then when it was time to harvest or the tomatoes was very abundant, my son really loved to eat them fresh in the summer. It's very sweet. So tomatoes, especially the cherry tomatoes, it's very sweet. And then next thing you know, there's butterflies and birds and what else was like raccoons as well and squirrels. They all come in the garden. And so having to see that every day, listening to the birds chirping Saturday mornings, so that's what made me love to keep doing gardening. And it comes back year after year, especially now in the spring. You see all those daffodils. And so yes, I think that's what it is. It's the nature. That's how I started, how it became to be my hobby. It's an ecosystem in the backyard.
Thank you, Sister Jovi. So it's not even just, I know we talked about being able to harvest your own vegetables, but it seems like for the most part, the thing that really draws us to it is the beauty of the garden. And yeah, there we go. It's the beauty of gardening. Um, so to get more into it, Sister Vicky, what is it that you do to prepare for the growing season?
Brother Josh, growing season. So all seasons, we can actually garden or tend to our backyard all seasons, not only during spring, but summer, fall, winter, and all seasons. So anyway, the first thing that I do is look through my window, and I look at the situation of my garden, and I spot those unwanted vegetations, those weeds that are growing, like brother said, the dandelions, which I don't have a lot. And and I prepare my tools. And then after that, I also have my plants that are like, you haven't be doing me service. I think I have to move you in the back. So I decide which plants are gonna go in the back and which plants are gonna be promoted to the front. And also there's for every gardener, there is a plant that you like after a while you get tired of them, but you don't want to get rid of them. So I put them, I think of those and I put them in a pot because another person might love it and might think. So I also share my plants. And as a matter of fact, I even when I prune, I also think of which one to be pruned. This is not only the plants in the outside in my garden, but also my indoor plants. So I always check which to prune, and so inside and outside, and I prepare the soil. I prepare the soil, and mostly because it can be very expensive to buy seedlings or the nurseries. So I usually have my seedlings grown. I germinate the seeds because I guess I learned that from farming. I know how to germinate seeds, and I even use the. It doesn't have to be expensive because gardening can be very expensive if you're not very practical about it. So I recycle things, empty a container. I use that to germinate my tomatoes. I don't ever buy tomato seedlings. And so those are the things that I prepare depending on the season. Okay, so for spring, I prepare besides tilling, cultivating what is there for spring, I prepare for summer because if I prepare for summer during summer, then I only have few months to enjoy my garden. So I prepare summer during spring. So I guess I hope I answered your question, brother. Thank you.
Yes, you did, Sister Vicky. So prepare in advance. Don't prepare during the season. One season ahead, at least. That way you can be fully ready for the season. Now, Sister Jovi, what are the benefits of gardening in your opinion?
So I would think the very first, well, the beauty, right, and the it's being therapeutic on your garden. I also discovered that having to be in the garden, you get to exercise without going to the treadmill, right? And so you're going back and forth from like that corner of your house, and I mean the yard into the other yard, mowing the lawn. It just really give you, like having to like sit down up and up, sitting up and down. It's giving you that the motions of your muscles, and it will. So I think, and also I have noticed that when harvest time, you have abundant of vegetables, right? And so you get to eat healthy. And if you don't use any fertilizers in your garden, then that's practically organic, right? And so you get that chance of eating healthy. I think those are the benefits that I see. Being healthy, I think your garden could actually have a benefits of, and I did mention being therapeutic, like listening to the birds, and it just relaxes you. You don't have to go yoga. Thanks for that. Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's a lot of health benefits there. If you really want to kind of group it in there, a lot of health benefits.
Yeah.
So
And
now,
Brother Josh, if I may add too, there was yeah, those are the excellent benefits, Sister Jovi. But it was proven also that gardening reduced the risk of dementia. Especially, yeah, and according to study, it does. Besides, it lowers your blood pressure. Um, and gardening is a great way to relieve stress and anxiety. Digging can be extremely, when you're digging and all your frustrations in life, like dig, 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 and that's very, Sister Job is therapeutic. And I guess those are the other things of gardening besides the free vitamin D. And according to study, exposure to sunlight for 20 to 30 minutes a day gives you that vitamin D, the vitamin D that everybody needs, because it's vitamin D helps us in absorption of all other nutrients. So that's a free vitamin D in there. Thank
Can I
you.
do some additional for that? Because gardening is a lot of benefits, as what Sister Vicky and Sister Joby mentioned. I want to add gardening is a help for the mental health. It's for like the depression, and and it helps us for our health issues and ecosystem, and it's like a biodiversity, and we can we can we can see around in our backyard too the native plants. We can use also for some herbal medicines that we can use in our life, and I think we can breathe the fresh air and the beauties of our surroundings if we have a lot of flowers, blooms, and we can get the antioxidant also in the plants.
All right. Thank you so much, sisters, for joining us today. We had such a wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed that, especially there towards the end. We're really getting that nitty gritty of all of our health benefits from our gardens. So it's more than just planting. It has a lot more benefits than just planting for those who were not aware of all those benefits that we actually get from gardening. So thank you once again, Sister Jovi, Sister Vicky, and Sister Rosie for joining us today. Now we will go into, pardon me, our next section, which will be our CFO in action. And I will be the one doing that for us today. So for our announcements, let's see here. For our past activities, we had the Binhi Forum, which is actually the Kadiwa Forum as well, on March 22nd. On March 15th, we had the District Evangelical Mission for the North Region of Washington State, which was sponsored by the Kadiwa, or the youth members of the Church of Christ. The lesson was led by our District Supervising Minister, Brother Ramil Regino. Following the lesson was another activity led by the Christian Brotherhood International Society, which was a literary and music competition. Brethren from around the district expressed their faith through original literary pieces and live INC original music. Brethren and guests were able to enjoy the performances over a socializing and refreshments. Let's see here, on March 23rd, or today, Everett is having a family fun day at Whirly Ball. So that was, or actually, I think it's going on currently. Now, for our upcoming activities on March 29th, we have the regional EVM at 7:30, which will be Kent, Tacoma, and Bremerton. On March 31st, we have our family bowling at 5 p.m. and a Welcome My Brethren, or CFM, CFB. And let's see, and the bowling will be at Kenmore Lanes. Let's see, our other activities that we have every Monday and Friday, we have Everett's EVMs, or Evangelical Missions, at 7:30 p.m. Also, Seattle will be having a Firefighter Appreciation Day, which is happening today, actually. So I forgot to mention that. So that is it for our CFO in action, or our announcements. Now, before we go into our hidden treasures, I'd like to announce our hashtag competition results. I know I've seen a lot of the hashtags flying here on our YouTube chat. So first, we'll go through and do our locals. Let's see here. For 5th place, we have the local congregation of Federal Way. There we go. For 4th place, we have the local congregation of Shoreline. And our 3rd place, the local congregation of Marysville. 2nd place, we have Seattle. And in 1st place, drum roll please, we have, there we go, the local congregation of Everett. Perfect. All right. There we go. Congrats. And thank you for all of our brethren from each local, whether or not the local that you were hashtagging and representing made it to the top 5. Thank you all so much for showing your support for our broadcasts. And to go into specifics for those locals that we had announced, we have now our top 5 brethren, from which local they're from. So from number 5, we have Brother Terrell Torres from the local congregation of Everett. Number 4, we have Sister Geraldine Rivera from Everett as well. Number 3, we have Yeshua Ligsai from Seattle. Number 2, we have Brother Andrew Santa Monica from Seattle. And our number 1 most active brother or sister brethren, but in this case it is a sister, that from our March 16th live chat is Sister Marinella Ligsay from Seattle. There we go. Thank you all so much for your love and support. And we love to see, I believe with each week, it seems to be different names each week as well on who's taking that number one spot. So it's definitely a very fun competition to see. So thank you all so much for your support. Now, we are coming to the end of our broadcasts, and with that, we have our cliffhanger statement. And that is, have you ever looked at your wardrobe and wondered, do I really need this? Although you might answer no for some reason, you have a hard time letting go. Well, join us next weekend as we share some tips on how we can let go and declutter our wardrobe. For Sister Hazel, watch next week. Shout out to my mom again. There you go. Sorry to call you out like that. And with that, we'd like to say our special thank yous and shout outs to Brother Eduardo Manalo, our Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Manalo, our SEBC President and CFO Coordinator, Brother Arnel Solano, our Station Manager, Brother Ramil Regino, our District Minister, Brother Relly Rivera, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Chris Valdez, our CFO Overseer, Brother Manley Andaya, our Executive Producer, of course, the listeners, and last but definitely not the least, the INCRadio Tech crew. Thank you all so much for your love and support. None of this would be possible without each and every single one of you. So with that, from INCRadio Seattle, we will see you later.